Welcome to Hashtime with Navgozi Chiwanuka. This is a place where we help you unravel social constructs, discuss self-development in line with mental health, emotional well-being, and everything in between that directly or indirectly affects us in the millennial world around us. If you're hearing my voice for the first time and are the kind of person who is not scared of being a better version of yourself even if it requires you to contradict who you were 24 hours ago, consider this your virtual home. I'm your host, Navgozi Chiwanuka, and I cannot wait to engage with you in the various conversations. Today, I am excited to have the versatile artist and engineer, Ifeanyi Ezugwu Patrick. Do you know him? Well, if you don't, this conversation is for you to get to know who Ifeanyi is. Of course, I've known him for a couple of years, but there are some things that I did not know about him. This conversation has beats that come with a big old "do not try this at home" sign, and also it answers one of the avoided questions. What is the riskiest thing you have ever done to pursue your passion? Sit tight and enjoy this conversation. Ifeanyi, welcome to Hashtime with Navgozi Chiwanuka.
Okay, thank you so much.
Do you have to say okay before thank you?
Why are you doing this? I know you're not recording, right? That's why I did this.
I am.
Why are you doing this? Okay.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. For someone that does not have an idea of who Ifeanyi is, could you please introduce yourself? Because I just know two things about you: an engineer and a phenomenal artist. So for someone that does not have a single idea, especially the Ugandans, who is Ifeanyi?
Ifeanyi is a Nigerian. My full name is actually Ifeanyi Ezugwu Patrick, and I think Patrick is the name you can relate with since it's an English name.
No, I'm not English. I'm not English. So I prefer Ifeanyi.
Yes, but you're not Igbo. You're not from my tribe, and the rest of
I love Igbo, man. What are you talking about? Do you know how much I love Igbo?
I know.
I didn't even know you were Igbo. Now I love you more.
I know you love flavor. I know you talk about Ukwanyo and a lot of things. But you're not. I don't know. You may end up being an Igbo lady.
Amen. Now.
But for now, you're not. I'm an engineer by profession, and I double as an artist, which is something I've done for life.
Something for life. That's like how many years do we track back?
Yes, I've started painting from when I was little. I can remember when I was in my primary 2, I did a painting of Jesus' portrait. That was the first time I painted Jesus. And our teacher was so impressed with it that it was hanging in our class for the rest of the year. I think that was actually the first time I actually did a portrait of a human being. Even though it's not as perfect as things I do now. But it was amazing because I can remember our neighbor then, I showed it to our neighbor, was like, okay, fine, you have painted your own Jesus. You can worship your own Jesus, but it's not my Jesus. So it wasn't fair to everyone else.
What?
So persons appreciated it so much, like my teacher appreciated it so much. So I started very early in life to paint. I represented my school in primary school in my early days in arts. I also did in mathematics and debate sometimes. But and then in my secondary school, I did a Festac mask. I don't know if you know anything about Festac. There was an art festival that was held in Nigeria some time past that was called Festac. So there was this mask that was the main symbol for it. So in my college days, we had our traditional day. I had to do the Festac mask. And our rector, that's the principal, the person in charge of the school, was so impressed with it that he had to reward me 2,000 as of then.
Are you serious?
Then he had to hang the Festac mask in the visitors' room. So, well, it must have broken by now because students have access to it. And I did it with clay. I didn't do it with cement. Then I didn't have access to cement. So I did it with clay. So I know each time it falls down, if you keep breaking, by now it must have gone. So, but I took art seriously in 2015, in my second year. I had some little financial challenge. So I needed something else to augment the money I was having. So I had to look into art and see how I can make money out of it. And to make money out of it, I had to improve. I have to bring up things that people will be ready to spend their money on. So I started my art professionally in 2015.
Had you seen any artists make money off their work?
Yes,
especially in Nigeria?
Yes, of course. I make money off my work, even now. Since then, I make money off my work. Yes, it was a little bit very difficult earlier, but I keep growing and it keeps getting easier. But it's not completely easy. It's never completely easy. So you keep growing, you keep getting thicker, and then your value also keep increasing with time.
But before you started the commercialization of your work, had you seen some Nigerian artists making money from their work?
Before I started commercializing my work, I was a neighbor to Bura. Bura lived next door to me. Mm-hmm. Bura actually helped my art so much.
Oh yeah?
And that's why I hold him to high esteem so much, because he believed in me even when I had nothing, so little to offer. Bura was actually among the first people I did art for, and the first people I actually did art for as well came from him too, because he was more established than I was then. So I had to bank on his popularity.
Yeah,
he introduced me to so many persons. The first person that paid me to make an artwork of himself was actually Bura's friend, and somehow I'm closer to the person than Bura himself now. So a lot of people I met early in life came from Bura. So he believed in me and he kept on encouraging me and showing me stuff. He would come around and show me people's artwork and telling me I can try and do this. So initially I was copying others and then growing from there.
So you hadn't seen any other artists making money. You just came up with this. We have Bura on board, encouraging you to do the work and introducing you to his, network. But before then, would we say that you had no single idea that there were Nigerians making money from their art?
I've not actually seen people make money from art, to be honest. But I have made money from art, not necessarily that people have given me money to do little art for them. But then these are people very close to me. So I wouldn't say it was actually a professional something, because maybe they're just doing it just to give me money or something like that. I don't know if you understand.
Yeah, I do.
So these were just people very close to me doing okay, you can have this, just make a portrait of me and something like that. And that was it.
Wow, because usually there is this stagnation that people experience in their pursuit of passions, because they feel like there is nothing that exemplifies what they might be dreaming of. Some people walk away from art because they don't, we go to school to make money. So they feel like, I can't pursue art. I haven't seen any other person making money off this. So that's why I was really insistent on finding out if you had gotten an idea from a fellow artist.
No. It wasn't from anyone. Wow. But I didn't actually have much options. That's one. Mm-hmm. Secondly, this is something I was passionate about. I enjoy making art. So even if you don't pay me, this is something I would just like to do for fun. Mm-hmm. Even if I don't get paid for it, I would just still like to make art. So if I had all the money in the world, I think even in my free time, I would still want to make art.
And when it comes to engineering, where did you find the passion? To
be honest, I was passionate about engineering, but not as much as art. Growing up in life, I was good in mathematics to an extent. In my nursery school days, my father gave me a good foundation in mathematics. So from there, I picked up. I remember in my nursery when I was actually like 4 years, I could recite timetable up to 10 times, and I didn't memorize it. I already started learning some cheats on how to multiply things in my head. So if I was writing it, you would think I memorized it, but I didn't. My father was showing me a lot of cheats on how to perform a lot of operations in my head and make it faster. So I had a very good foundation in mathematics, and I didn't like chemistry per se. So I didn't want to go, since I offered sciences, I didn't want to go into medical field because I have to do a lot of chemistry there. And chemistry used to... So I had only one option, engineering.
Chemistry. Let me tell you something. Chemistry is weird. For me also, no. So everything for me that becomes complicated, I just relate it to chemistry. I'm like, man, this looks like chemistry. No.
When I had to even write my WAEC, I was like, when I was doing the chemistry, because I need to pass chemistry in my WAEC, I was like, this chemistry needed to be divided into two. Advanced chemistry and normal chemistry, because there was some parts of chemistry I was like, wow, do I still have to learn this? I don't know if you did organic chemistry.
I don't think they were great. So I don't know if that was for people's A levels, because I did my arts for A levels. O level, it was compulsory. Okay. For O level, it was compulsory. So I don't know what they started in A levels.
If you did it, then you would have seen what they call organic chemistry. That was where, I knew that, I can't do this. Because physics was simple, mathematics very simple. This is logical. This is very logical. They would say if you leave this up, it will fall down.
Right.
And if you leave this up, it will fall down. Like very logical something. Mm-hmm. You could relate to it. You could understand it. Like if you put your mind to it, you understand how this thing works. But chemistry will say inside this thing there is a human being, and inside that human being, you're not even understanding. Like these things are not relatable. Like. So I don't have to go for engineering because I know if I pick up that line of chemistry, I'll be sad for the rest of my life. I just have to.
So you have, I don't know, how long have we been friends? 2020? Could it have been that year?
I don't know when we started.
Wait, it must be 2019. I'm trying to remember.
I don't know. I didn't take note of it.
But it must be around that time. And I've noticed that there is a high level of consistency with your performance of art. Should I call it performance? Your practice?
Yes. You're right.
Which is right? Is it performance or practice? I think it's practice. Practice, yes.
I don't perform yet. It's practice.
I've noticed that your practice of art has been consistent. And I've also noticed that there are changes that have come with your level of consistency. And yes. I've also seen that, I think there's a post that I put up asking people to describe me with one word. And there were so many that were coming in with the word consistency. They said the same thing about my podcast. And for some, you hear them talking about how it is hard for them to be consistent. So when it comes to your line of practice, when it comes to art, is it just about you making sure that you better your craft so that you make money and respect your clients? Or is it something else that drives you to just be consistent?
I think it's somewhere in between the both. Mm-hmm. Art is something I'm passionate about. So even if there are no clients, I'll still make art. But when your clients are smiling, you're also happy.
Right.
So it's somewhere between the both. I want to give quality to my clients, and I also want to make art I'll be happy with. I have dreams of things I want to do with art, and I don't have so much loss with time. So you have to grow, and as much as you are growing, you have to maintain a coherent and recognizable style in that growth. So earlier on, I was doing art with pencil. When I started in 2015, it was just pencil. So with time, I started doing art with pen and then oil paint as well. That's the colored ones. But now I do art with stitches, just stitches and thread. And this year, I'm looking at abandoning even the pencil, the pen, the oil paint, and just settling for stitches.
Are you serious?
Yes. I'm just about it. I told my friend about it. He wasn't in agreement with it, but I think at some point I would do it. I'll have to abandon everything and stick with that. I feel this is the medium for my time. This is the medium I relate with most. Pencil has been used in many ages, paint in many ages, pen is also a medium of my time. I wanted to settle for pen, but I felt like, okay, fine, let me go for this teachers and trade. So this is something I think it relates to me more. And I feel great when I'm on it. I feel some sense of accomplishment doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something you see regularly. It's not something you see many people do, having to use stitches and thread to make their artwork. It's just few persons that do it, and which is something that made me also to incline to it. Then also is something that haven't been in the history so much. Not so many artists have used such mediums. So I felt like, okay, I can settle with it. So as much as I've been consistent trying to maintain a coherent and recognizable style, I also try to grow. And in between the growth, try to find myself more, find what I actually want to stick with.
What are some of the struggles that you might be seeing with younger Nigerian artists? Have you had an interaction with them?
Basically, the struggle you have is the economy. Art is not a need. Art is luxury.
Mm-hmm.
Let me put it in a simpler way. It's someone that have eaten that would want to buy art. Someone that is hungry would want to buy art.
Right.
It's a lost reason. It's not actually a need. So if the greater percentage of the population is struggling, then art may not be selling. I don't know if you understand.
I do.
A lot of young artists may struggle to sell their art because not that people don't appreciate this art, not that people don't want to have this art, but they may not be able to afford it because the economy is actually struggling and the greater percentage of the population is struggling. A father wouldn't want to spend so much money buying art when he's struggling to pay the school fees.
Yeah.
So that's basically the difficulty most persons have. And because of that tight economy, a lot of young artists may have troubles in sourcing materials because art materials are very expensive. Very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very, very expensive. I can remember in my young days, let me tell you a story. When I started doing my art in my third year, I did art in my second year when I met Pura. So I was doing art with pencil. So I wanted to improve. I wanted to go to something else. I wanted to start doing oil paint. But I didn't have the fund to do oil paint. And oil paints are very expensive, very, very expensive. So then the money I had with me was my school fees. It's funny now, but it's also funny then. I had to use my school fees and get these materials.
No.
Yeah, it was a big risk. It was one of the worst risks in my life, and I regret doing it. But somehow I feel good about doing it too. I did it. So I had to use my to get these materials, and I had to convince some persons that I can do an artwork for them. So when I was done doing it, these persons didn't pay me.
Oh my God!
So now, how am I going to pay my school fees? It became an issue. I couldn't open up to my people. I couldn't tell my parents about it. I couldn't tell my brother about it. I was depressed in school. I wasn't focusing in classes. I was traveling around Nigeria looking for money, trying to meet people and see people I can do artwork for so that I can easily recover. I was under pressure. You know what? When you're under pressure, you make a lot of mistakes. You keep making more mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Like you keep making wrong decisions because you are desperate. You want to achieve something within a short period. So somehow, even the little money I have keep going away. In that my third year was my worst year in school. In fact, it affected my results so much. I had 6 Fs.
Whoa.
So that's the part I regret is because it's so much affected my result that see today I am like, wow. When I see my degree, I'm like, this is what can be my result. But I know what cost it, and this is not what you have to explain to everyone that see what happens, You can't don't have to explain to everyone, see what happened, because this is your result. So that's what the criteria is.
Right.
So I feel a lot of young persons who might be struggling to get these art materials. Currently, I may not struggle with some of these things because even though I'm not that buoyant, I've passed that stage. I can get any material I want to.
Mm-hmm.
I can do anything I want to do in art currently. But I feel those ones that are in that my stage back then will have a lot of struggle getting some of these materials and working with them, especially when you don't have an established name, you don't have an artwork to show for it. Because if you're trying to tell someone, okay, I can do this for you, the person will like, okay, let me see what you have done. I don't know if you understand. You have to show what you have done.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have anything to show what you have done. So how would the person have to pay you? So for you to show what you have done, you have to use your money and get these materials and do something.
Right.
Which you may end up not even being able to sell, which may not even be at the end of the day, you may not even get to what you want to do because you definitely have to improve. So your first work may not be that brilliant. When I look at those, my first work, I'm like, wow, is this what I did? Because they are so poor. Back then, I was so proud of them.
I know.
I was so see what I did. See what I did.
Because it's the best that you could do at that time.
Maybe. Well, not okay. I don't know. I did actually have a mentor in heart. Maybe if I had a mentor, a person could have shown me better ways to do a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
So it would have corrected my growth. It would have made my growth faster. But then I was so proud of it. So, but I was lucky enough not to settle for everything I do. Like things I do now, I don't settle for them. I still want to do something better than what I do today. I always want to grow. Mm-hmm. So that's just the little advantage, the little luck I have about myself, that I always want to improve. I always want to try something else. I always want to see another version of a thing to see how it can get better. So these the two problems I discussed are actually the two issues I think upon communities will be having. Mm-hmm. One is the economy is not doing well, and secondly, you might struggle to establish yourself because you may not have the fund, and art is expensive. So these are the major two difficulties I actually had, and I feel young artists might also have such struggle.
Mm-hmm. What is the most painful period? I don't know if we shall still draw back to you using the school fees to buy art items.
No. I don't have a problem with it. I actually even wrote about it at some point.
You did?
In my final. I wrote about it, a 5,000 word story about it. It's not like something I want to publish, but it's not also something I'm not sharing with people. If someone wants to read it, I can share with the person. It's a bit fictional, but it centers on my life between that period in my final year, both my relationship life, my art life, and then Bura as well, because Bra was also at the center of my life during that period, even though you may not know a lot of things going on too in my life, because growing up, I was so much an introvert. I don't like sharing a lot of things about myself.
Yeah.
It was with time I started knowing how to talk about things. Growing up, I was so much an introvert. I wouldn't want to discuss a lot of things about myself to anyone. That's why I didn't even tell my parents about it. I just want to keep a lot of things to myself.
Wait, they don't know about it to date?
In my final year, my brother didn't know the details, but in my final year, it was so much because in my fourth year, they gave me my school fees for my fourth year. I had to use my fourth year school fees and pay my third year because I hadn't paid my third year. And in my school, it's difficult to register for courses when you have not paid your school fees because you have to register for courses online. Then you take the online slip and go and meet the lecturers and then register offline with lecturers. It was very difficult to register my courses online because I have not paid school fees. So in my fourth year, I will take this fourth year school fees and pay for my third year. Then in fourth year, I have not paid school fees.
Oh my God.
I have to get a copy of the course registration of my classmates, so I pay school fees. Then I don't know, can I say this online? I had to place some trick on it and put my details in it and register my courses offline. So it's also affected my results a little bit because there was this lecturer that used to download our registration from online. Others used to work with the offline registration. They always assume that all of us are registered online. Yeah. I don't know if you understand. Uh-huh. But this one, he studied abroad, so he works like he's working in the Western countries. So he doesn't even want to see us coming to his office to register courses. He just downloads it online and just reads the list. So when he downloaded it, my name wasn't there. So I had a meeting script in his course. So in my final year, I still had to write his course.
Oh my God.
I didn't register for it. And in the list, my name wasn't there. And the problem I had was when I graduated, I was no longer with my school. I reached the age for retirement. And my school didn't give him professorship. So and that school gave him professorship. So I had to move to that school. So my record was completely lost because it wasn't even there. So I just had to sit for that course again. So I have not had an extra year because of it.
Wow. So what I wanted to find out, is there a moment in your journey of pursuing art was there a moment where you felt like, do I really have to keep going at this?
There are moments I cried, but I never thought of stopping.
Mm-hmm.
But there are moments I cried. Yes. There are moments I cried. There was this man in my third year. He's a politician. These people, even though it didn't work out the way I wanted it to, but these people shaped my life a lot because they made me to grow, to have principle, to not have such experience again. They developed my principles along the line.
Mm-hmm.
So this man is a politician. He is very worthy. So when you see his house, his cars, and everything he does, he can pay me whatever I wanted to be paid. So in my third year, when I used my school fees and it was difficult to recover my school fees, there is a place around our school, the GRA, where the people stay there. So I was so desperate. I thought I was desperate. And I was desperate to recover the money. So I was moving from house to house, talking to people about my art. I was that desperate. Yes, I will knock at your door. You open the gate. I'll come in and I'll talk to you about my art and know if you wanted an art from me or something like that. I was that desperate. So I came to his place. So we talked about it. He said, okay, fine. He said he wanted 3 arts from me. So I now used the last part of my school fees that was left with me to do the arts, because I knew when he pays me, I will now pay off my school fees. So when I was done doing the arts, he liked it. He kept it in your house. He kept on telling me I should come so day and pick the money, so day and pick the money, so day and pick the money. Months keep on passing. I was exhausted. Most times when I come back from his house, I will lock myself up and start crying. At the end of the day, he gave me 10,000 naira, which wasn't even up to the amount I spent doing his artwork. I was messed up. Like, I didn't even know where to start from again.
Oh my goodness.
So most of those days I was just down. I was just depressed. And it ended up affecting, as I told you earlier, it ended up affecting my academic so much that within a year I made 6 Fs. 6 Fs in just 1 year.
Those are so many. Oh my goodness. Those are so many Fs.
Actually, not just 6 F. I made 5 F in one semester. I got 1 F.
One semester.
Because our first semester I made 5 Fs. It was overwhelming. So in my 40s, I learned how to live with it. I started living with my problem. So my result wasn't that bad. Even though I knew I had difficulties, I knew I haven't paid my school fees, but I just found a way to start living with it. So in my third year, in my final year, I used my final year school fees to pay my fourth year. So I knew I had to do something in order to pay my final year school fees. And my project, I was building a machine in my final year, my project. It was costing me a lot. I had to tell my brother about it. I had to open up to my elder brother. Told him I have not paid my school fees. Told him what happened. He shouted at me and everything. I knew he was going to give me the money. And I knew he was going to start me. And in fact, he just did everything as I knew he was going to do it. I knew he was going to shout at me and I knew he was going to give me the money.
Yeah.
So I was ready for the growth. So he shouted at me, scolded at me, said everything I have to say. And after like 3 days, he sent me the money and I paid my school fees. And that was it. That ended that phase, like that 3 years phase. I don't think I got myself into such situation again.
Mm-hmm.
So from then henceforth, you have to pay an advance for me to even start doing an artwork for you. No matter how much I was desperate to do work for you, I will have to wait.
Yeah.
You definitely have to pay an advance, at least 50% of work. So I don't have to lose. So even if at the end of the day you don't want the work, you don't like the work, it's no longer my lose.
Have you had a tough experience with a client besides the politician? Because the politician was just a con artist, man.
Yes, there are some people you do artwork for, and because of the great work they see you do, they would, even though what you did for them is very good, is exceptionally good, they will still want more from you. They are not happy with it. But then these people give you a very difficult picture to work with. first thing first, earlier, we didn't have so much of these editing apps around us. So when someone gives you this kind of blurry picture or picture that is difficult to work with, there are pictures that are exciting to work with because these pictures are very beautiful and the quality is great. It's exciting for the artist to work with, but there are these kind of pictures that are very depressing to work with. So when you do this work and you now give it to them, they will always want to compare it with those pictures that you did from a very exciting picture. I don't know if you understand.
I do.
So they will feel less of it. They will want something different. And at the end of the day, they will make you to feel bad about what you did because you have put in your best into this, but they are not satisfied. And somehow, no matter how you fight it, you still feel sad about it that, even though I know this is the person, and I know this is actually very great, but the way this person is sounding is not great. So with time, I also had to put it into my principles. There are some pictures you send to me, and I may not want to work with you, and I may tell you that I can't work with this picture. You have to give me something better than this.
Yeah. It's a good thing to draw out your principles when working with people. It's that way you build boundaries.
Yeah, is from experience.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't want to keep encountering some things. From experience, there are also some persons that are very difficult to satisfy.
Uh-huh.
With time, I've gotten to understand how these people work. So there are ways you talk to me, and I wouldn't even want to work with you because I know it has very great chances of not ending well. Because from the way you're already talking to me, I already know that no matter how I try into this work, it takes something exceptionally too good to satisfy you.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't even want to put myself into such pressure because when you're working on that pressure, sometimes you make some mistakes you wouldn't make naturally. I wouldn't want to put myself into such pressure. So there are some persons that the way they just talk to me, I just have to tell them that maybe I'm busy currently. I'll get back to you when I'm free, or I'll just have to find something else that make an excuse and not work for them immediately. I had an encounter once. There's this guy, he wanted me to do a picture for him. So he kept on bargaining for 2 months, going forth and back, telling me how he have met some other artists and stuff. So when you're telling me how you have met some other artists, I already know that even when I bring this work now, you are still going to compare it. And when you compare it, you are putting me into a competition that I'm not even ready for. So the person may end up sounding like, I paid you so much for this is what you are giving me. This person wanted to collect this less amount. And so I won't want such situations. So when we were just going back and forth, I told him I cannot work for you. So he was angry about it. He said, no, that I have to. I said, no, I can't do this work again. That right now I'm not even going to do it again. So he was angry with me, but when I dismissed him, I was proud of myself because many years ago I would have accepted anything.
Yep.
I would have just taken anything because I just wanted to keep working. I just wanted something. But now, no, I can't take anything. I have to take something I'll be happy doing.
Mm-hmm. There's someone who complained to my cousin. My cousin recommended, I think, someone to this guy because this guy is a makeup artist. So after working on the bride, this guy called my cousin and he was like, stop sending me ugly women. Because I can't work on all faces. I won't say the person's name because it will ruin business for him. But he's one of those popular makeup artists in Uganda, and he told my cousin straight up, man, you do makeup on a woman and she just doesn't come out right. So don't send such women to me again. And I was like, whoa. Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. Some people see that you have to accept the challenge and stuff and have to. Yes, I actually accept the challenge. Like, I use a lot of editing app to edit pictures now, even if I start doing the artwork.
Mm-hmm.
But even at that, see, there are still limits to it. There are some things you give to me I may not just want to work with. Or there are some person that will come to me. I'll just look at the kind of temperament you are. And I think I just feel like, no, I have to escape the struggles. It doesn't worth it.
How do you take care of your mental health as an artist?
Okay. When I started initially, when I was struggling in my second year and my third year, when I was struggling, I used to lock myself or cry, and I used to do a lot of press up. Then I'll start punching my bedroom walls too. My hands used to then I will punch my bedroom walls, let my hands start bleeding, then I'll sleep. Then I used to write a lot too. So that's why I had to record most of what was happening, because I had a diary then. I was writing a lot. I also spent time at the mountains. I spent time with flowers and a lot of things. That was then. Now, I don't think my mental health has so much issue. I think I've done so much now. I don't even work out again. I just sleep now. I just get tired and I sleep. I barely have struggle. Nothing seems to even get to me that much again. Now I've grown so much thick skin that I just wave everything off and I just sleep. I don't even write much. I don't even exercise again. I don't think I can even punch any wall. I don't want to feel that pain again. I just want to just eat and sleep. You can't get at me. You've got to get at me now. It just takes me to sleep, and then tomorrow morning I'll be fine. I just think about it a little bit and I'll be fine. Or I might find an alternative, something else to do. But it was earlier on that I was having depression, that I was finding ways to mitigate through my depression. But now, most of my days I'm happy. Honestly, I'm happy most of my days.
Oh, yeah? What do you attribute the happiness to? Do you feel like there is a side of you that you got to discover in yourself?
The decision.
Oh, yeah?
It's a decision. You decide to or not to be happy. It's a decision, actually. Some things can make you want not to be happy, or some things can make you want to be happy. But it's left for you to decide to or not to be happy. I can come to work and receive a query and a lot of things go wrong, but it's still left for me to be happy, decide to be happy or not. That's one thing I've discovered. I can still decide to be happy, even at that. And I can still get a promotion and a lot of things, and still decide to be sad. So it's left for me to decide. So if it's for me to decide, then I think I will always want to be happy. So even when a lot of things are not going my way, I always choose to be happy. And I may just be sad for a little while, but I will still get myself to, okay, fine, just have to look over this and find a way to be happy and move over this. I may just want to keep my mind on happy things that have happened in my life, be grateful for a lot of things, and I'll see my mood changing. I'll think about a lot of beautiful things that happen. Maybe I'm given a query and I will want to be happy, and I will just be like, okay, well, 3 years ago, I didn't even have a chance of getting this query, right? I didn't even have a job. I wasn't even employed. So at least I'm even employed self to even get a query, right? Okay, problem shy. So, and that's it. And I just look at some things that I just have to correct so that I don't end up getting something else that is worse than that query. And I move on. Tomorrow morning, I just see me smiling. And you feel like my life is perfect and everything is great, which may not always be the case. But I just decide to be happy. I don't know about someone else. To me, happiness is a decision. It's a decision. You decide to or not to be happy. So if it's a decision that solely rests on you to make, so why now do you decide to be sad when you can actually decide to be happy? For me, I choose to be happy. For
yourself? But I can truly relate to that part where you talk about channeling your energy somewhere else. I remember being in moments of feeling like, I don't think I'm the right person for this. I don't think I'm doing this right. I don't think this is even worth it. And then I remember, because this year I don't have a single word for this year apart from saying it has been hectic. And there are days when you want to just throw in the towel and then you're like, wait, I did that? Because now you start remembering all these beautiful things that you have managed to achieve, and they made you extremely happy. And even when you think about them in that moment, you still feel like, yo, that was massive. And then I end up smiling and I was like, oh, we shall manage this. We shall get through this. I've seen that. Yeah. I've experienced that a lot.
I listen to your podcast. Most people that come to your podcast, they talk about sad moments a lot. Most persons that come to your podcast talk about sad moments a lot. And there's something I don't like doing. I don't like talking about sad moments so much. I like talking about my happy moments so much. Like, even if I'm seeing a movie and there are some sad parts to it, I may just end up turning that movie. I don't want you to just annoy me like.
But you cannot walk away from the fact that there are two realities to life.
Yes, I know. But if I can actually walk away from that movie, I walk away. So why would I watch it?
Oh my God, it's a movie.
Couple. These people are living great and I'm enjoying their life. All of a sudden, the wife dies, and then I'm turning off this movie and I'm trying to sleep because you can't just come and make me sad about it. I am not going to be sad. I have to sleep.
Oh my goodness.
You have to keep this wife alive to keep me in this movie. You don't have to make me sad about this movie. I might come back to the movie later on, but maybe at that moment I just have to sleep and let it be. So that's why it may take me like 2 weeks to finish a movie. Because if you make me sad, I will leave you.
Hey, my friend. No, hey, that is close to being dismissive. I'm sorry, but there might be a time that comes and you might not know how to deal with it. So you need to cope yourself with those skills.
No, I'm not saying it's always the case. Like it's always the case. But if I have an option to just let the thing go, I will let it go.
If you have the option.
Yes, of course, I will let it go. If I have an option to let something go, like for instance, a movie is not something that is so great in my life. So I don't even see movie that much. I have not actually seen up to 100 movies in my whole life.
Wow.
So it's not something I always see often. In fact, it's in this later stage of my life I started seeing movie. Earlier in my life, I don't even see movie at all. Except maybe I'm with someone that insists on seeing movie. Okay, I'll say, okay, fine. Okay, let's see it. If not, I cannot just be on my own and decide to see a movie.
I'm going to come to Nigeria and we shall storm those cinemas.
You said? Yes, of course. If I'm with someone and the person wants to see a movie, of course, I'll oblige the person. We see the movie. But like on my own stand up, want to see a movie or get a movie on my device to watch, I may not do it. Especially earlier in my life, I won't do it. You won't even see any movie on my device to start with. So most times when I'm with someone and the person wants to see a movie on my device and maybe someone is someone close to me, I just have to get the movie on my device for the person to see because there will be none. And even the few times I'm seeing movie, I like seeing comedy. I enjoy comedy. I want to laugh. I don't want to be depressive. I just want to keep laughing.
Do you feel like you struggled a lot before and you just feel like you owe it to yourself to be happy?
I told you earlier, I don't like talking about sad days or things that are sad. So I don't even know what I've struggled a lot. I don't like seeing myself in that kind of category. Yes, I know I've had some experience in my life that taught me lessons, but I don't like seeing them from that angle of me struggling or me having sad days or anything. I like seeing them from the angle of me having some experience, learning from experience. I like making them positive. Like, I don't like seeing them from the angle that will make me sad. I want to see them from the angle that will make me happy. Like, okay, thank God I spent this earlier in life so that with this, I've made these principles. With this, I've learned this. With this, I know that I can't do this way and the other way. So I see them as lessons often or experiences that I've had. I wouldn't want to attach a sad name to them because I don't want to stay in that sad memory. Yeah. Even though the event may look like something that is sad, but I don't want to attach it to a sad memory. I will just want to laugh over it and be like, wow, well, we have grown over this now. So,
what is it? What are the few words that you want the listener to walk away with at the end of this episode?
Okay. I want people to see their life that it is their life. It's no one else's life. It's your life. So you have to make the best out of it. You have to be happy. You have to be positive. Even if things are not going your way, of course, many times things will not go your way. But you have to be positive about your life, and you have to be happy. You have to find a way to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have so much time on this earth. So you may not achieve all your dreams. You may not have all the luxuries. You may not enjoy everything you dream of. But you can be happy. And you can always decide to be happy. And you can always decide to see things from the positive end of it, no matter how sad or depressing they may look. So I want anyone listening to this to understand that your life is your life to live.
Mm-hmm.
It's no one else's life, and you don't have so much time in this life. Mm-hmm. So stay happy, stay positive, and keep being consistent with your growth.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Can people from other countries commission your work?
Yes, but they have to pay for.
But that's commissioning.
No. Not just for the work. When people in my country commission my work, I pay for the transportation, the web billing. It's on me. But outside of Nigeria, you commission my work, you have to take care of the transportation. Mm-hmm. Because what I charge now is estimated with the Nigerian transportation system. Mm-hmm. So you have to pay that extra charge because I have to send it out to you.
Yeah. Which
may not align with the prices I have. I don't know if you understand.
I do.
So that's just the balance. You have to balance up. That's extra transportation, and that's it.
What if it's digital work?
You said?
What if it is digital work?
If it's a digital work, it's completely the same pricing. It's completely the same pricing, especially if you're going to print it there. I don't have to print it for you here. Mm-hmm. If you have your way to printing it, then it's the same price because there's no transportation involved.
Yeah.
But digital, some people want you to print it here in Nigeria, and then send it to them, especially Nigerians, because they may not have access to print it, or they may not be that expert with the different types of printing you can get to get the best quality they may want. So they may want you to do it and still send it to them. Mm-hmm. So, but if you are good with it, I can send you the work and then you print it over there.
Yeah. So if they have to contact you, how do they reach you?
You can reach me with my email, jpmyron@gmail.com. It's spelled jpmyron@gmail.com.
I or Y?
jpmyron.
That's right. At gmail.com.
Yes.
And they can also find you on your social media and see your work.
Once you type JP Myron on Google, you see all my handles. All my handles are JP Myron on all social media platforms.
All right. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
You do?
I do. Honestly. I appreciate it.
Okay. Right.
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for hanging out with us to the very end. If you loved this conversation, please do me a favor and hit the subscribe button in your podcast platform of choice. Also, feel free to share your insights about what connected with you on social media, and be sure to tag us. We are at #WithNavMusic1Co on Facebook and Instagram, and on X. Our handle is at HTNK Podcast. Do not hesitate to reach out to Ifeanyi if you need any deals, artistic deals. So see you next week. Wait, welcome to October. Welcome to October. I should have done this at the beginning, but still, it's still valid. Catch you next week.